We're jumping straight into one of probably the most unhinged places on the internet, Reddit confessions. Second only to your confessions that you've sent in to me that I can't even do anymore because none of you can be trusted, to be honest. The stuff I read, I will never be able to scrub out of my brain anyway, and that's why we don't do that anymore. So we're gonna do Reddit confessions instead. I actually met a subscriber today who not only reminded me that reminded me of the video I did where I turned a shopping trolley into a barbecue, which I had completely forgotten about. We also talked about the confessions video and I was like, that's so weird, I'm about to do one today. She was lovely, by the way. It's always lovely meeting you guys. Not so lovely reading about your crimes on the internet, to be fair. And this is why I've opened the Google Forms doc out of curiosity, and this is the first two things that I saw. I once flushed my head in the toilet. One time I thought it would be a great idea to eat bum cream. What? Like, what? Those are actually super tame. So given that context, welcome to Reddit confessions. Really just another form of us collectively not minding our own business on the internet. On this channel specifically, we do really love to just get together and comment on someone else's business that they've posted on the internet, so it's free game. Starting off strong, I threw eggs from the 16th floor of my apartment building to maintain peace and quiet. I must know more. I used to live on the 16th floor of an apartment building. There was a pub on the ground floor and people would often congregate late at night in the street in front of the pub entrance. This was a hindrance to residents because we would wake up at 1 or 2 in the morning to drunk people talking outside. My apartment had 2 balconies on 2 sides of the building, so I often, I'm just thinking about the architecture there. Big apartment. So I often looked down on people grouping together on both sides of the building. I got fed up with it and decided to drop an egg where a group of people were chatting. As is your right, in my humble opinion. I know that's probably illegal, but that is a level of petty that I aspire to be, if I'm being completely honest. They immediately dispersed and I could enjoy my sleep again. I did this on another occasion and again it worked. I would also disperse if I had an egg dropped on my head, to be fair. I started buying more eggs and it became, eggs are expensive, but this guy has 2 balconies, so he can probably afford the eggs. I started buying more eggs and it became a habit that I practiced for about 6 months. No one had a clue it was me, and I even went to the pub and overheard people chatting about eggs being dropped from balconies in the building. This is like, it's actually not like what I'm about to say at all, but my head went to, this is similar to people that go around starting fires, like arsonists, who also then call the fire department just so they can see like the fruits of their labor. It's a whole thing. It happens a lot with bushfires and there's like repeat offenders. My point being, if I was dropping eggs on people, I'd probably also go to the pub just to hear people talking about my eggs. Needless to say, I used to maintain peace and quiet by dropping eggs from my balconies. I have nothing but respect for this person. Technically probably illegal. I don't know if that would be like assault if it actually hit someone or something like that, but it did serve its purpose. I thought Keanu Reeves was a black basketball player. Okay, there is really nothing I can say about that. Good to know. I like to creep around my home and act like a goblin. Tell us more. I don't know why, but I just enjoy doing this. Honestly, that is a good enough reason. You want to crawl around like a goblin, that's all the reason that you needed. Maybe it's my way of dealing with stress or something, but I'm just thinking about someone being like super stressed out and then just jumping into a goblin stance. Crawling around their house like a goblin. But I just do it about once every week. Like, that's just once a week. It's just like a casual thing. Like a weekly goblin crawl. You know how it is. Generally, I'll carry around a sack and creep. Fuck off. I've had enough of this man. I don't know if it's a man. I don't know what this is. Oh my God, how am I gonna read this? Okay. Generally, I'll carry around a sack and creep around in a sort of... Okay. Stop. Okay. Serious. Who's doing this? Generally, I'll carry around a sack and creep around in a sort of crouch... in a sort of crouch walking position, making goblin noises. Then I'll walk around my house and pick up various different trinkets. This is gonna take all day if we keep giggling. Okay, let's just process that this grown person once a week, perhaps due to stress, gets into a goblin crouch and goes around the house looking for trinkets. Okay, we've digested that, and now let's just read it and not have the giggles. We can do that. Okay, come on, please. Then I'll walk around my house and pick up various different trinkets and put them in my bag while saying like, oh my god, I'm sorry, this movie is so annoying to watch. Put them in my bag while saying stuff like, I'll be having that. And laughing maniacally in my goblin voice. How am I supposed to read this without laughing? Trinkets can include anything from shit I find on the ground. Shut up, I can't. I'm actually pissing myself off and I'm so sorry, but like what the fuck are we currently reading right now? Trinkets can include anything from shit I find on the ground to cutlery or other utensils. I also love trinkets and that is so normal to do. The other day I was talking with my neighbors and they mentioned They mentioned hearing weird noises like what I wrote about, and I was just internally screaming the entire conversation. I'm 99% sure they don't know it's me, but god, that 1% chance is seriously weighing on my mind. This is the best thing I've ever read in my entire life. There is truly, like when we look at this for what it is, there is nothing wrong with this. It's so innocent. It's so, I'm finding it so endearing and just like, I love that there is an adult in the world that is doing this, to be honest. I'm just like picturing some guy just crawling around, but I'll be having that. Just walking around with his cutlery. Honestly, babes, whoever this is, please don't stop. Continue doing this as long as you can crouch and laugh maniacally about your trinkets. Continue doing this, please. That's the best thing I've ever read in my entire life. I don't ever need to read again. We've all peaked. This is the best story. And on that note, I really do just need to take a moment, breathe, and talk about the sponsor of this video, UFoods. Crawling around your house like a goblin, it's not an easy task. Sometimes you get hungry doing it. And that is just one of the many things that UFoods is great for. If you're like me and you don't really love going to the supermarket, plus it's so expensive at the moment. I'm also bad with like planning ahead with meals and ingredients and stuff like that. That's why I personally love UFoods. I get it delivered to my door. I don't have to think about it. Everything goes in the fridge. You pop it in the microwave for a few minutes and you've got a full meal ready to go. You don't have to shop, you don't have to cook, you don't have to clean dishes. And meals start for as little as $5.49 each, so they're super affordable. Plus with my code BrienneWorthYT, you can get up to $200 off your first 5 boxes. That code is valid to new customers only. I had the peri peri chicken today and honestly the sauce that comes with it, I could just drink on its own. It's that good. They're genuinely yummy recipes and I think I first got UFoods like probably well over 5 years ago, so genuinely a big fan. Use the link in my description if you want to check it out yourself. And once again, use my code BrienneWorthYT to get that discount. And thanks again to UFoods for sponsoring this video and keeping me from being hangry, quite frankly. I posted fake jobs on the internet so I could build my own resume. I can't fault that. I see nothing wrong with this immediately. Fake it till you make it. This is also not the first time I've heard this. Maybe it was in another maybe one of you guys did this as well. Or I've read it somewhere else. But this, I don't think this is like uncommon. When I was 19, 20 years old, I was looking for jobs and I could not find any and people would tell me to build a nice resume. The problem was I did not know how to do it. So I just posted fake jobs on the internet and would get resumes. I would use those resumes to build my own. This is actually really smart. I use those resumes to build my own using the skills that I liked on theirs. I could also tell who was competing with me for those jobs that I posted. This is really smart. This is super smart. I feel bad for those people that thought it was genuine and applied. Yeah, a little bit morally corrupt, but smart and I have to respect it. I'm 33 now and have a nice job. Those resumes truly did help me build my career. Great. What a lovely thing to read. As a child, I copied a poem from a book and won first place in a As a child, I copied a poem from a book and won first place in a poetry contest. Why does this also feel familiar? When I was in 3rd grade, I was very into reading and writing and often stayed up far past my bedtime reading anything within my comprehension level that I could get my hands on. We had a stack of children's encyclopedias I loved on all sorts of topics, dinosaurs, the planets, world history, etc. Great topics, including one of stories and poems. One poem stood out in particular. It was about solitude and nature and really struck a chord with me. Because I loved the poem so much, I copied it down into a journal I had of my own writing and passages / poems I found inspiration in. But you can tell this person loves writing because they are waffling. There's just no need for us to have this much information. Because I was so young, talking single digits here, it never occurred to me to write down the author or anything, especially not in my own journal. Makes sense. When I was single digits, I was writing down the lyrics to K-San on a piece of paper. Because because I just liked it and I still love that song. A few weeks went by and my mum stumbled upon the journal while cleaning my room. She read the poem and assumed it was original writing. She approached me about it that night and was so proud of it. Like any 8-year-old, I wanted my mum's approval and pride, so I didn't tell her I actually found the poem in a book. Didn't think it was a big deal and she was so proud. This could have been shortened into a paragraph, I'm sorry. For a month or two, my mum is reading the Sunday paper and sees a poetry contest for young people. She immediately thinks of my poem and insists I enter it. That afternoon, she had my dad drive us to his office so she could type it up before home computers. She sends a copy into the newspaper and of course, because it's an 8-year-old's name on an adult's published poem, it wins first prize in my age group. My parents are so happy with me and I feel so incredibly guilty. Within the next month, the poem and my picture are ran on the front page of the art section in the paper. God. I'm invited to read the poem as part of an award ceremony. Of course I go because my mum wants us to, and why wouldn't I? I get a small award, a ribbon and maybe a gift card. I don't remember. What I do remember is feeling so incredibly guilty. I have spent more sleepless hours over this poem than I can count. This poor kid. A few years later we learn about plagiarism in school and I feel as though I'm being personally called out. Oh my god, this poor, and you know when you're a kid all of this stuff just matters so much. I remember tearing out the books page with the poem, ripping it up and throwing it away, wrapped in an unused sanitary napkin because I was so afraid anyone would find out. It's been 20 years since that award ceremony and even though I realized it was a childhood mistake that isn't even that large, I still can't quite shake the guilt. While we're all confessing things here, I stole, when I was like maybe 7 years old, stole a toy from the little toy bin at the hairdressers. It was like a Tinkerbell doll and I just held onto it and didn't put it back in the box and then got in the car with it and then realized I stole it once I got home. I carried guilt for that for years. I thought the police were coming to find me. I think I buried it in the yard so no one would find it. Oh my god. They've then added the poem and this is again 8-year-old, 9-year-old single digits writing this. It's called This Is My Rock by David McCord. This is my rock and here I run to steal the secret of the sun. This is my rock and here come I before the night has swept the sky. This is my rock, this is the place, I meet the evening face to face. Who in their right fucking mind would believe a child wrote that? That would keep me up at night. That would have just followed me around my whole childhood. Anyway, I have a crush on our local delivery guy, so I order all kinds of shit just to see him. This seems sweet. It started 6 weeks ago when I had ordered a new electric fan and he delivered it. I'm a 5'8", 19-year-old and I think he's somewhere in between 24 to 27. I don't love that age gap, but a crush is a crush, whatever. And he's really short, 5'5" I think. It's difficult to tell since there's a step at my door. Okay. He's so cute, it's not even funny. The first time he came, I giggled, I was so flustered, and I was really embarrassed about it, but he was really nice and told me where to sign, etc. Since it was the first time I'd ordered anything, usually my parents do all that stuff, because you're 19, and if this is a 27-year-old man. And now for 6 weeks, I have had 2 deliveries average every week, sometimes more. I always order really cheap crack. Okay. I was about to stop and say that she's keeping the postal service in business and then I said crack, cheap crack. So anyway, I always order really cheap crap I don't even need. I have a see the delivery man budget. This is like, I don't know if it is cute. Is it also, no, it's just cute. Let's leave people alone. I have a see the delivery man budget that I've set aside and it's so pathetic, but I don't know what to do. And I think he's catching on too, because lately he starts to make small talk and I panic and say something really stupid. This is really cute, but it makes him laugh and I just don't know what to do anymore. My sister is totally onto me and now he delivered 2 small packages and my sister was just coming home and she actually said, so he's the reason you're always ordering shit. Oh, that brutal words that could only come from a sister, and walked in. I'm mortified. He looked at her, looked at me and fucking smirked. He must think I'm such a freaking loser. Oh my God, someone kill me now. I actually don't think he would think you're a loser. I would assume that he would find that really endearing and like complimentary, if nothing else. Or maybe a loser, who knows? I just wonder what the end goal is. First of all, if he's 27, that is just find someone else. But assuming he's like age appropriate, what is the end goal? You want to see him all the time, you have a budget for it, but you're not just gonna ask him out, or I guess he's at work. Like you've got a literal budget to see him all the time. Guess you can't really hit on people when they're at work or ask someone out, but like you're making small talk. He, from your recollection of events, seems at least amused by all of this. Yeah, I honestly don't even know what to do with that. It's just cute. We'll just leave it at that. I volunteered to do my aunt and uncle's laundry to take money out of their pockets. Now, is that the right thing to be doing? No. So I lived with my aunt and uncle when I was 17. I'm gonna let you off because you're 17, but you're living with these people and stealing from them. I had no money and I was absolutely terrified to ask them for anything. Okay. Okay. They wouldn't let me get a job because they wanted me to focus on school. I was hungry most of the time and only ate food at school. Okay, this got really sad and I judged far too soon. Anyway, I would do their laundry as much as possible because 99% of the time my uncle would forget to take his cash out of his pocket. I'd usually score about 20 per load of laundry, lol. I think they knew you were doing that, and like maybe that was their roundabout way of giving you money, because there's no way someone every time they're doing laundry loses $20 and doesn't notice. That is a really shitty situation to be in though, especially as a 17-year-old. I used to think dildos were a hostess product. Like ding-dongs or ho-hos. What? Okay, now we've got two problems. What is ding-dongs and ho-hos? What? That's not real. That's not real. I knew hostess made Twinkies, which is also a stupid name. Ding-dongs. This is fake. No way. You guys are up there calling things ding-dongs. You call food, chocolate food, ding-dongs. And what was the other one? Ho-hos. That just looks like a sponge roll. What the f? What on earth? Why? We usually wear the one doing weird shit and saying weird shit. You guys in North America are calling things ho-hos. Ho-hos and ding-dongs. Wait, ho-ho versus yodels just came up in the search. Why are you ring-dings? What is happening? Oh my god, you foods would never call things yodels, ring-dings, ding-dongs, and ho-hos. This is ridiculous and I'm angry that I overread this. That's That's not even funny. Anyway, like ding-dongs and ho-hos. When I was younger, I overheard the older kids saying dildo a couple times at lunch. They were whispering and giggling. For years, I couldn't figure out what was so funny and secretive about snack cakes. I love this. Honestly, I love this. I'm having a great time. What about you? I lied about having cancer for attention. Okay, the mood just switched real fast. I have no excuses. Lied about things for attention. I ended up hurting people. I should have never done those things. One thing being that I lied about having cancer. When I think of all those people that died from or lost a loved one to cancer, it makes me hate myself more and more. I went to school with a dude that lied about having cancer so that my best friend would like him. Marinate on that for a little bit. Like genuinely had the whole grade convinced that he had cancer so she would feel bad for him. Really weird. Really weird. Don't think I can really add much to that, and I might leave it there for the video. That's heavy. That's super heavy. All right, thank you for coming with me on that journey. That was fun. We should do this more often. Leave a like, leave a comment, etc. if you want me to make more of these, because that is literally the only way that I can tell if you like these. Big shout out to the most worthy patrons, aka the upper tier patrons, aka we're still working on a nickname. I'm not too sure. This is a transitional period. We're working it out. But thanks to all of you and all of my other patrons as well. You guys literally keep the channel going. Without you, I couldn't do any of this, and I couldn't laugh at some dude crawling around like a goblin yelling at his trinkets. And I'm so glad I can do that with all of you. I hope you're all having a great day, and I will see you in a few days with a new video.